My sister called my engagement ring fake cubic zirconia from a gas station in front of 40 wedding guests, then demanded I remove it before walking down the aisle as her maid of honor. But what she didn't know was that my fiancé owned 3 of the largest diamond mines in South Africa, and his legal team was already on speed dial before we jumped back in. Tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow, I've saved something extra special for you. My name is Cassandra, and from wherever you're watching this, buckle up, because what started as family humiliation at the Rosewood Country Club in Millbrook Heights ended with cease and desist letters, frozen bank accounts, and my sister discovering that sometimes the quiet ones have the loudest backup. Have you ever had someone you love try to destroy you in public, thinking you're too weak to fight back, because standing there in that bridal suite, still holding the bouquet, I'd spent 2 hours arranging, watching my sister Bethany's face twist with that familiar mixture of superiority and disgust. I felt something I hadn't felt since we were kids, that burning shame of being the lesser sister, the one who never quite measured up to her standards. But here's the thing about being underestimated your whole life. It teaches you to move in silence. Cassie, honey, Bethany said, her voice dripping with that condescending sweetness she'd perfected since high school. I need you to be honest with me. Where exactly did you get this ring? She gestured toward my left hand like it was contaminated. Because I've been to Tiffany's, I've been to Cartier, and that looks like something from a mall kiosk. The room went silent. 40 pairs of eyes, bridesmaids, flower girls, our cousins from Denver, even Great Aunt Ruth, who was half deaf, all turned to stare at my hand, at the ring that had been on my finger for 8 months, the ring that caught light in ways that made strangers stop me in grocery stores, the ring that somehow in Bethany's presence suddenly felt heavy and wrong. It's not fake, I whispered, but my voice sounded small, even to me. Bethany laughed, not the genuine laugh I remembered from childhood, but the one she developed in college, sharp and cutting. Oh, sweetheart. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm trying to save you from embarrassing yourself. Look at the band. It's already turning your finger green, and that center stone, the proportions are all wrong. A real 2-carat diamond wouldn't sit like that. She turned to address the room like she was giving a lecture. Girls. This is why education matters. This is why you don't let some smooth-talking guy from. She paused dramatically. Where exactly did you say your mysterious fiancé was from, Cassie? You've been so secretive about him. My chest tightened. The truth was, I hadn't been secretive. I'd been protective after years of watching Bethany compete with me over everything from grade school spelling bees to college boyfriends, after seeing how she'd somehow managed to turn my acceptance to graduate school into a conversation about how she'd chosen marriage over career. I'd learned to keep the things that mattered close to my chest. He's from Johannesburg, I said quietly. Johannesburg? Bethany clapped her hands together. How exotic. And what does he do? Again? You mentioned something about mining. The way she said mining made it sound like digging ditches. Several bridesmaids giggled. I felt heat creeping up my neck. He works in the diamond industry. Works in diamonds, Bethany repeated, nodding sagely, like he sells them at a shop. Or her eyes lit up with malicious glee. Oh my God, Cassie, please tell me you didn't fall for one of those guys who says they're in imports, but really just he owns mines. I said louder than I intended. The giggling stopped. Bethany's smile faltered for just a second, then returned twice as bright. He owns mines. Of course, he does. She looked around the room, inviting everyone to share in the joke. And I suppose he flies around in a private jet too? Yes, I said simply. And has houses in multiple countries, yes. And just happened to stumble across little Cassie from Millbrook Heights and fall madly in love. The room was so quiet. I could hear the grandfather clock in the hallway. Bethany was still smiling, but something had shifted in her eyes. She'd gone too far, and she knew it, but she was committed to the performance now, Cassie in. She said, her voice gentler, but somehow more cruel. I love you. We all do, but this fantasy has to stop. I can't have my maid of honor wearing costume jewelry down the aisle. What will people think? What will the photographers capture? This is my wedding day. She reached for my hand. Just take it off for today, please, for me. And in that moment, standing in that room full of silk and pearls and judgment, I realized something that would change everything. I was done being small. I was done apologizing for taking up space, and I was definitely done protecting people who had never, not once, protected me. I pulled my hand away. No. Bethany blinked what I said, no. I looked around the room, meeting each pair of eyes that had been so eager to watch my humiliation. This ring stays on my finger. If that's a problem for your perfect wedding, then maybe you need a different maid of honor. The color drained from Bethany's face. In 32 years of sisterhood, I had never, not once, said no to her. But what happened next? The phone calls, the lawyers, the documentation that would make my sister's face go white as her wedding dress. Well, that's when things got really interesting. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now, back to the story. The silence in that bridal suite stretched like a rubber band about to snap. Bethany's mouth opened and closed twice before she found her voice, and when she did, it came out as a hiss that could have stripped paint. Excuse me, I felt every muscle in my body tense, but my voice stayed steady. You heard me, the ring stays. What happened next was pure Bethany, a performance I'd witnessed 100 times before, but never from this side of it. Her eyes filled with tears that somehow never quite spilled over, ruining her makeup. Her voice cracked with just the right amount of wounded vulnerability. Cassie, how could you do this to me on my wedding day? She turned to the room, arms spread wide like she was addressing a jury. This is what I get for trying to protect my little sister from embarrassment. This is what I get for caring. Great Aunt Ruth shifted uncomfortably in her chair. Cousin Jennifer from Denver started gathering up her purse like she was planning an escape. The younger bridesmaids, college friends of Bethany's, who barely knew me, exchanged glances that said family drama louder than words. But then Bethany made the mistake that changed everything. She pulled out her phone.